So estrogen dominance is very dangerous, and I would want to start with the effects of estrogen dominance in females. By the way, this estrogen dominance is what commonly we call it hormonal imbalance, yes? Because we don't have the balance between the estrogen and the progesterone. Progesterone is supposed to mask the levels of estrogen, but the levels of estrogen are still getting higher and higher. The spike is real. So women with estrogen dominance will present with abnormalities in their cycle, the menstrual cycle, irregularity of menses, missed periods, delayed periods, heavier bleeding, prolonged bleeding, yeah, spotting in between periods. Those are the problems with their cycle. Another problem will present with the cystic acne, pimples on the face that never disappear. Estrogen dominance, pimples that are there even when you treat with all the creams, all the antibiotics, you apply all the antifungals, all the creams, they never disappear. Cystic acne, that is estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance will also cause, because we said progesterone will make sure that estrogen has not caused overgrowth in the uterus. So because the levels of estrogen are too high, we are going to have uterine fibroids. Fibroids are going to appear on the uterus. We are also going to have endometriosis. Endometriosis is a condition whereby the inner lining of the uterus, what we call the endometrium, gets attached to another part outside the uterus. And do you know it can attach itself in the abdomen or even in the lungs? So another thing you have to understand is the way this endometrium responds to hormones when it is in the uterus. When it is attached outside in the lungs, in the abdomen, or in another part of the body, it will still respond to progesterone, it will still respond to estrogen. And for example, not even for example, during menstruation, that layer of uterus, endometrium, sheds off, ndio huwa inakatika, inamwagika. That is slowing off and you see period blood coming out. So assuming that part of uterus is implanted in the lungs, so it means the lung is going to get cut off. It's going to shed off. And this can cause collapsing of the lung. What we call, is it atelectasis, yeah? The lungs can collapse. And this can cause difficulties in breathing and then other respiratory problems. Because regardless of where this part of uterus endometrium is attached to, it is still responding to hormones. It is still responding to estrogen and also progesterone. If it is bleeding, it is also going to bleed. If it is in the abdomen, still you are going to bleed. So any woman who presents with pain that never goes away, chronic pain on your pelvic region, it could be an indication of endometriosis. This also increases pain during your menstruation because the uterus itself is shedding off, and also that other part of uterus that is attached to the lungs, to the abdomen, is also shedding off. So you are going to experience a lot of pain. So when you have severe pain during menstruation, it is not normal. It is very abnormal. And if you experience that, you need to seek for medical assistance, medical help. So women will have endometriosis, will have fibroids, will also have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And before I forget, ovulating women who are ovulating should not fast for more than 48 hours. Like anything beyond 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours is very dangerous. Especially when you are not used to fasting, or if you do fasting once in a while. I want you to understand me. Ovulating women, if you are in your ovulation window, please understand this. You should not fast for more than 24 hours, because the body will perceive this fasting as stress. Okay? Will perceive fasting as stress. The body will perceive, hey, you are stressing us. What is this? And in response to this stress, the body is going to produce cortisol, which is the hormone responsible for the management of stress. But maybe because of you have not been on healthy diet. But then before I forget, when the ovaries become getting old, the role of production of hormones is taken up by adrenal glands. Okay? It's taken up by the adrenal glands. So adrenal glands take up the role of producing hormones, estrogen and progesterone. But in this scenario, when you are fasting, the body will perceive this fasting as stress. And do you know what? Cortisol is going to be produced, but because of you have been on an healthy diet, it is going to be produced in insufficient amounts. Mwili hautaproduce cortisol in sufficient amounts. And what is going to happen is the body is going to explore alternative sources of cortisol. And do you know what? It is going to explore progesterone. It is going to convert progesterone to cortisol. It is going to convert progesterone to cortisol. What this means is that when progesterone is converted to cortisol, then we are going to have more estrogen dominating. Remember, we said estrogen masks the levels of estrogen. It brings a balance. So when we have more progesterone being converted to cortisol, then it means we are going to leave more estrogen in circulation. There is a controversy here, not even a controversy. The truth is, when you are fasting, the body is going to recharge itself. But when it comes to this fasting, the body can ignore the reproductive part. And also, when it ignores the reproductive part, estrogen is going to shoot, because the body is not going to make sure that it has balanced the levels of progesterone and the estrogen. And therefore, estrogen is going to shoot. So ovulating women, please, if you know you are not used to fasting, don't try it. Fasting is so good. Fasting enables the body to regenerate, to recharge itself, and also it allows for autophagy. Autophagy is whereby the body gets rid of dead cells, damaged cells, and regeneration. So fasting is very good. But when you are not used to it, the body is going to sense that as stress. Cortisol is going to be produced from progesterone. So progesterone is going to be converted to cortisol. And this gives room for more estrogen to be left in circulation. And you are going to have estrogen dominance. For women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, this is mostly caused by insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is whereby the levels of insulin are too high because we have taken too many refined sugars, too many carbohydrates. You know, when you take processed carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates, they don't have fiber. And therefore, they are full of sugar. They contain a lot of sugar. And this is going to cause insulin resistance, causing diabetes. Okay? Causing diabetes. And that's why people with